Hi, I'm Adria Richards, and today I'm going to talk with you about what you should look for when shopping for a new printer for your small business. Now, there are a lot of printers out there with different features and benefits, all at different price points. Now, depending on your business, the functionality that you need, and your budget, there is a printer out there that's right for you. I'd like to thank Dell for providing me with these 3 printers to do the review. So one of the first printers I'm going to introduce you to is the Dell 1250C. It's one of the smallest business class laser printers out there. If you have remote employees or home-based business, this is a great choice. It also looks really good on the CEO's desk. The Dell 1250C retails for about $230, which is an excellent price for a business class laser printer. And with the cost per page being less than most inkjets, it's an excellent replacement, especially if you have higher volume needs, because laser ink toner cartridges hold 2 to 3 times what inkjet cartridges do, and they never dry up in the machine. The first thing you'll notice is how fast this printer is. 12 pages per minute for black and white and 10 pages per minute for color. That's about 5 seconds a page. Now you may be asking, how did Dell get this done? They're actually using LED technology. So rather than, as a normal printer does, passing over the paper once for each color item, it makes a single pass with all 4 colors. Not only does this result in faster performance, but the print quality is much higher as well. All right, there is our test page. That looks really good. So one of the things I want to talk to you about when it comes to selecting a laser printer, LED or not, are all the consumables and replaceable components that you'll need to manage and take care of during the life of the printer. What do I mean? Well, in the case of laser printers, you have the toner, which in a laser printer is a dry powder versus in an inkjet, it's a liquid. But in addition to that, you also have the drum and the fuser. The drum is the device which transfers the image onto the paper, and the fuser is the element that heats up. So in some printers, you have to eventually replace both of those components separately. So in the case of the Dell 1250C, the drum and the fuser are not only together in one small unit, but they're meant to last the lifetime of the printer. So that's great. You don't have to go out and reorder those in the future, but with many models you do. This printer comes in 2 additional versions which support multifunction and wireless, the first being the 1350 CNW, the second being the 1355 CNW. As great as the Dell 1250C is, if you have several people in the office and you get all of them their own printers, it's just not efficient or effective. So let's think about that. What can you do if you have several people in a department and they're pretty close by to each other? What you can do is go ahead and set up a network printer for them all to share. A great example of that would be the Dell 2155 CDN here. So with the Dell 2155 CDN, you're able to condense copying, scanning, faxing, and printing into one machine. So if you have fax machines around the office, you can get rid of those and replace it with this. It retails for about $650, and it has an optional wireless card add-in, so really you can place it anywhere. This printer would be great for companies with 2 to 12 employees. Good examples would be restaurants and retail stores. Now, while they need to print, their volume needs are pretty low, but they do also need to copy, scan, and fax. And what better way to get this all done than to consolidate it into a single machine? Now you can have a printer in the back office that does everything and allows you to communicate with headquarters. Now, some of the other features that people don't often consider when thinking about a printer or a multifunction device include the ability to print double-sided, also known as duplexing, as well as being able to scan to a network share or scan to email. Make sure you check out the second video I did on how to scan to the cloud, where we use that feature to scan to Evernote, Dropbox, and Google Docs. So this printer will do about 24 pages per minute, which is fairly solid, and comparing it to the 1250, that's twice as fast. You can accept several different types of paper in here, including some heavier cardstock. So in terms of being a great all-around business printer and all-in-one, I definitely recommend the Dell 2155 CDN. The last model I have here is the Dell 3335DN multifunction laser printer. Of all 3 printers, this one would make the best for a business that has mid to high level printing needs, and it would be great as a standalone in that environment or as part of a fleet within a work group. Now, in addition to being able to do it all, copy, scan, fax, and print, it also can help you to digitally manage your documents, and I'll talk about that more in just a minute. The starting price for this model is $1,300, and one of the things I really like is that it has a 7-inch highly customizable touchscreen display. Now, I mentioned that you can digitally manage documents with the 3335DN. With the previous printer, you could scan to the network. With this model, you can scan to email, as well as it actually supports duplex scanning, which allows you to scan in both sides of a document and then send it where you like. Now, all of this is made possible by this 7-inch touchscreen. One of the nice things, especially when it comes to large companies and busy departments, is the ability to come up to a printer and get done what you need to get done. So here, IT admins can go ahead and configure specific shortcuts for departments or even individual users. So you no longer have to click through several menus and repeat a lot of redundant steps. There's also a secure mode so that if you send something to the printer, but you don't want prying eyes to take a look at it, the print job will be held in the printer until you arrive and enter a 4-digit PIN. So as you can see, the 3335DN is really set up for a business environment. They're security enabled, and it's really there to make everyone's job easier. These models all come with a 1-year warranty, and they support the toner management system, which will remind and notify you when your toner is running low. Well, that wraps up my review of the Dell laser printers for small business. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe up above for more great tech videos, leave a comment or question down below, and like my video. Thanks.